Testing. All right. Good morning, people. Hard to get up at 6:30 on a Monday. Market a little bit negative today. Consolidating some of that move from last week a little bit. Not bad. Chesapeake Diamond Offshore making moves this morning. Diamond Offshore looks like it's going to have a good day today with a 5-minute candle like that. Maybe you'll have a 5 or 6% close out of that. Chesapeake with a great day on Friday. Excellent volume. Really didn't stop throughout the entire day. A little bit of pullback at the end, but wow, Alec, that's a pretty damn good put. I'd probably cover. Yeah, where the hell did you buy a put that you're up 500% on? But yeah, I would. Expiring Friday. Well, if you only have one put and have to make an A/B decision, I would just take 500%. Who cares if it goes up more? That's a huge gain. If you have more than one, you want to see how it plays out, you could sell partial positions and wait a little bit. So this is a pretty news-driven stock at this moment in time. But with a gain like that, you just want to lock it in. I mean, it depends, and part of it depends too, especially with options on the strike price. I know you said it expires this Friday, so you're going to fall well without a range of earnings. But it depends on the strike price. If your strike price is, 500, and you want to hold it for a little bit, and it wiggles around, you're probably not gonna waver a tremendous percentage of that amount. Let's say it gaps up to here on some good news, which it did the other day. It actually gapped up. It didn't maintain it, but it was up here at about $400 for a minute in the overnight session. Double tapped that on the overnight session, came right back down again. Maybe you should. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it depends where the strike price is. Thursday at 293 up here. Damn, what was the strike price? I'm assuming 393. Yeah, I'm assuming that's got to be like a 370 something strike price then. Okay, I didn't hear about the production cut. I wonder what this volume is about then. See, that's some really good volume on a 5-minute candle. That's a pretty big gap down too. So if you notice last time, so when this thing gaps, it looks like it likes to consolidate for a little bit. When you're dealing with options, you don't really the consolidation isn't your friend. The consolidation actually hurts you because that time premium comes into effect. I don't know. I guess so far since it's going down a little bit this morning, I wouldn't give it too much room to the upside. Like I said, that's a huge gain. You don't want to. You mean 378. Okay, so right about there. Yeah, I don't know. I would say if it goes up any more than 380, I would probably ditch it. I mean, you want to lock that gain in, man. You want to lock that in. So let's see. You're at the 378. I don't have a 378.8. Got 375, 377.5, and a 380. Puts, here we go. Oh yeah, there you go. Damn, son. So let's see here, because if it comes up one strike price, if it comes up to the 380, you're gonna go from 448 to 425 or 400. See, that just jumped 25%. So it'll evaporate quickly as it goes up. Looks like every $2.50 you're gonna drop between 25 and 40, 50%. So you just have to decide how much you're comfortable making on that one, and basically set a stop loss at that price is what you're gonna have to do. Yeah. Or like I said earlier, if you just want to pull the trigger up that much, I can't blame you one bit. And I wouldn't feel bad about it. But yeah, if you want to hold it for a little bit, I would give it a, again, these are your percentages per strike price. So let's say because I don't have a 378.8 strike, that doesn't exist here. Let's say 377.5. Let's say you're up 475%. If it drops another $2.50, you're up 568%. Blah blah blah. And if it goes back up, you got to figure maybe you're like, okay, I'll let it go to 482.5, and I'm cool with 384%. That's how you can deal with that. But that's still a 120% drop. So again, just kind of decide where you're comfortable, and then just be happy with the profit. I mean, really. Looks like it's continuing going down here. So great trade. Yeah, great trade on that one. So about after the weird gap day. Yeah, I didn't think about buying a put on Boeing, but I thought that was some strange action. And then a little double top here. That was a pretty good one, man. Great job. Great job. Next time, let me know when you're going to make 500% on a trade. Let us all know. Yeah, because let's use Friday as an example. Maybe this thing will just meander lower a little bit and maybe won't really have a pop. See, that would be a good scenario for you, because if that dropped, like I said, another $5 or $6, that's like another 200%. So it'd be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Like I said, good job. Very good job. All right, let's go look around. So Chesapeake getting right on with the plan, moving higher there, about 3.5%. It's not making hundreds of percent, but it's doing okay. There we go. Yes, that's not bad. INSG not doing too good. Yeah, I think Friday it didn't do too good either. Yeah, Thursday had the big turnaround. Yeah, Thursday was the big turnaround. Then Friday started undercut. It tried going higher, and then just never did. It didn't even breach that prior high, and then it just kind of floundered about. So, yeah, it is what it is. Winnebago wasn't doing too bad, though. We haven't looked at it this morning. Yeah, doing great, man. Look at that, 33.2. Yep, just a little shelf of resistance there, just above 32. And then nice little pop up there. Yeah, good stuff with Winnebago. One of the better looking charts around right now, I think, especially after this this long drop. I really like these setups. This one doesn't work with me for options, from an options perspective, but other than that, it's pretty nice. Yeah, VFF taking it on the chin today. Diamond Offshore, AEYE. Oh yeah, there's Winnebago. And then Nvidia. Nvidia just hanging higher, not really willing to give up any ground. That's pretty bullish. Tesla. What's Tesla up to? Whip down back again to the 270. Look at that thing on Thursday. We didn't talk about Tesla on Friday. Look at that volume, though, coming into Tesla as it came back to 260. Boom! And then just ate up that volume right there. And then I'm telling you, man, that 250 has been a floor for Tesla. There's somebody with deep pockets just sitting at 250. May not touch it the rest of the time, but when it gets to 250, 260, they're all over it. Oh, did you get an INSG? At 501. Well, let's see here. So there's kind of a pivot point here at about the 450 level. Yeah, my I'm viewing Teslas as a 5 and 6 year play. I'm not really viewing it as these intermediate term or shorter term swings in the stock. But that 250 appears to be a pretty nice floor. Yeah, let's see if INSG can find some support down here. It's pretty much gonna have to, because this almost doesn't look like this line anymore. This pretty much, almost looks like it's part of that line. And then what you end up with is a descending triangle or a descending wedge as long as it is. So I'm not sure where the entry is there, Ted, but yeah. What's up, Eli? It really wasn't super buyable until the breakout. But for longer term holds, this whole 5G thing is still okay. Again, INSG, it's hard to say where they sit in the market, though, with their market cap. I wasn't able to dig up a bunch about them. I spent a bunch of time on it, but yeah, the whole 5G thing is going to be, it's a big buzz thing on Wall Street. Other than marijuana stocks, you're looking at 5G tech right now, and maybe the security group. Those are probably three of the things that to me stand out the most. Doesn't mean that's everything. That's just what stands out to me. IBD does a pretty good job of keeping us apprised on what's going on. So it's always good to have them. They're all over the market. Here's why you should watch this biggest ever biotech IPO. Stock with 960 EPS growth, rising sales, tests new buy zone. That's a good one. HDS. HD Supply delivers 960% EPS growth. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's got resistance right around the $45 mark. Not sure if there looks like a possible double bottom, but it would have already broken out from that. I'm not sure. Let's see what they're calling it. Could be a cup and handle too. There's your cup, there's your handle. There's it trying to break out of the cup and handle. And it doesn't really mention a pattern. They're just saying 45 is long-term resistance. That's it. AEYE coming up to 3% this morning. Acacia Match. What's Fortinet doing? Fortinet just maintaining in the little flag pattern here. And what's leading our list today? NBEV. MJ name with a pretty big gap. Got to be news on that. Wall Street tips lower as Trader's Eye, whatever that means. Oh, they're going to do a $200 million mixed securities offering. Okay. Expands Marley brand partnership with Walmart. Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, probably going to issue $200 million just to deal with Walmart. All right, so HDS is the company that IBD is talking about. Another one. This is just a pattern. Talking about the high tide flag. Growth was 7,600%. Hits buy zone. That's Lululemon again. We talked about them the other day. And looks like they're already up. So we know that they're up. So they talk about Lululemon in a buy zone right now. I guess they're considering that the buy zone because it's pretty far. Yeah, so far it's out of that. You're at about 6 3/4%. So that buy zone's basically gone. Chesapeake's been on fire the past couple of days. Look at that volume this morning again. Just rocketing higher. Looks like it's going to hit that 200-day moving average, which is pretty good. I became more of a man, Eli. That's why. That's right. Drink some man juice. Nah, just Monday morning, 6:30. I'm tired. Oh, you'll like this story, Eli. So I'm working on the application. And I spent like the past most of last week working on this one script and reworking it a couple of times. And then I'm trying to push it up to Git. I got an account on Bitbucket and I'm trying to push it up there. And then I make another change after that, and then I push that up, and then all my stuff's gone before. It's just gone. Yeah, it's just gone. So my code's gone. Stuff I worked on all last week. I think it's in my local branch here on my computer, but I don't know how to rip it out. So I'm just I was looking through my computer for like 30 minutes last night, just a little bit dumbfounded. So upset I wasn't even upset. I was like, are you serious? So, can redo the logic if I have to. It's just gonna suck. But I'd rather try to pull it out of my computer. Okay. Yeah, I'd appreciate help. I've been Googling. On my computer I've got a bunch of files, but like I've been looking at my Git. There's a log and there's a bunch of objects here. So I don't know if it's in any of that or not, but it's just gone. Yeah, so this is my file, my longs. This is about 200 lines long, and this is the initial thing that I put up there, just make sure my route was working. Yay, Git. So luckily I don't drink, otherwise I've been drunk last night probably. All right, let's check out AMC. Getting on with some action this morning. We've been noticing it, but not really focusing on it. But AMC with some good volume this morning. News, people went to the movies over the weekend. Looks like an analyst upgrade for AMC. Apparently someone really likes that analyst because they're buying it this morning. SoFun, another one with some pretty good moves this morning. We got Chesapeake right up there again. Riot pretty muted. Okay, yeah, I've got them, but I have to hit like up on my command prompt and I mean, I know what I was trying to do. I was doing git, add, and push, and commit. That's all I was doing. I wasn't pulling, stash, add. Oh, there's a stash. Maybe it's stashed somewhere. Maybe that's what it is. That'd be great. That'd be really good. And that actually probably would explain it because it's probably stashed. If I looks like I did a stash, I don't remember doing that. So I know stash kind of obscures your work from your previous commit, I think. I don't know. Still learning, but like I said, I haven't thrown out the baby with the bathwater on that one. I just kind of was chilling on it. All right, restoration hardware. Pi. ST&E. Yeah, this thing undercut. I ended up getting rid of this one. It just didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I ditched it. Pretty flat trade. I don't know what I think ended up down like maybe 10%, so it wasn't too bad. EOG, Quad U, Future Fuels, Silica, Whiting Petroleum, maybe finally getting some bullishness after just months of trying here a little bit. Other than that, that's just a big rebound, and then even here it kind of dropped. Now it's getting up to that resistance point right here. If it can get past that, maybe it'll end up rolling out. Ring, Holly. What's up, James? How you doing, buddy?
Can I play my learning game, please?
Hold on a minute. All right, guys. James decided to join us. Like Chesapeake pulling in a little bit. Volume pretty manageable so far on this one. Not bad. James, Eli says hi. Say hello.
Hi.
He can't see you waving. He can only hear you through this. All right. The Chesapeake trade working out pretty good so far. Unless it keeps dropping, in which case it won't do that. All right, market down 1/3%, or third of a percent, not doing too bad. NBEF 15, AMC 7 now, so fun. That Riot trade's not doing too bad. Kind of holding up here nicely. Not really making new lows. I think he's probably waiting for Bitcoin to try to make new lows before it's going to do anything. But it's just hanging out so far. And so is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not really doing a whole lot either. Bitcoin's kind of just hanging out. little scare last night. Ethereum got going yesterday too, which was a little bit different. Ethereum got rolling. Looks like Litecoin ended up breaking that trend line right there for the symmetrical triangle. So it's gonna market may do more basing here. We'll talk about that one later. Cardano broke that lower trend line. So definitely some distribution coming in, a little more than I would think is expected for what should have been a pretty super rally. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. Nasdaq looking a little bit tired up here if our day is going to close down like this. So give it just a little bit of a tired feeling to it. Obviously, we've had quite a few distribution days. We're pretty heavy in that category. They had the market in market under pressure before this day. So then they called resumes uptrend on a break of that recent high, I think is how they determined that. But so far we haven't really sustained above that. It's been, well, we've sustained above this level, but we haven't gotten above the high of that. And we are knocking right on the highs of the Nasdaq. I mean, one good day, we're within 1.47% after being down 30%. So it's been a tremendous comeback. It would make sense for us to be a little topish up here. Whoops. Look at that big, beautiful V. Ah. Who here likes V's like this? These are nice V's like this, right? Technically, these aren't supposed to work out very well. Actually, IBD had an article that I was interested in that I saw on my phone. Let me pull it up and we can go through it. I didn't see it on economy. Let me get my phone. I know it's on my phone. Was on my phone. What the article was about, it was referring to the maybe a new larger bull market coming, is what it was referring to. Ooh, SpaceX Falcon Heavy will mark another first with this launch. Nice, they're gonna do something. Cool. News, retirement management, special reports, financial advisors, technology. Yeah, I saw that article. Wanted to read it. Here you go. All right, I found it. Maybe 4 or 5. I don't think that was it. Oh, there it is. there. Should be back. And my choppy mic sequence is back again. Sound should be back. AEYE coming back. Look at this is what a low float stock does for you. So here's the thing. IBD has a minimum of 400,000 shares to even be able to trade a stock. This one has 53,000, not 400,000. It has like that's like 12%, about 12.5% of what they want for a tradable stock. And this is why. Because when you look at the average shares and then you look at what the stock does, it can move anywhere at any given moment in time. And so that's why, because of these just crazy dots that end up on the chart for no apparent reason, which is why AEYE is just hanging out and jumping all over the place. Versus Chesapeake, which has 40 million shares traded, is usually fairly steady at whatever percentage point it decides to stick at, unless it's, moving. But AEYE, this thing could jump 1% with one trade, where Chesapeake is going to be a little more difficult because there's just so many shares trading all the time. NBEV 17%. It's like we're up a little bit more. Good moves. Look at some other MJ stocks. Take a look at our buddy's Cron, which is down. Ooh, not very good there. Living towards the low of that pattern. CGC looking similar to that. ACN? Is that it? ACB? Yeah, ACB. ACB looks like gapping down with the rest of them, but holding okay so far on the daily. Our buddy MJ down about 0.5%. Could be considered a little bear flag right there. Or still within trend, depending on... Oh, maybe not. Maybe starting to get out of trend. And nothing super bullish as of right now with many of these MJ stocks. Tilray looks like it's broke that triangle and is continuing with some downside action here as of late. Undercutting that recent low right there is not very bullish. Not very bullish at all. Maybe just a very overinflated industry. Maybe sometime later this year we'll round back up. But it looks like right now they're not really interested in putting too much more money to work in this sector. And MJ's a decent example of that. Well, nothing's really broken. We haven't really got going. We had a resistance point there at about 40. They just haven't been able to get over. All right, so what's down here today? INSG looks like it's... I don't like it pegging down there at those lows, but if it can bounce up above there, if it can start getting going again, it's sitting right on one of those. So in the crypto power hour, we talk a little bit about extreme technical analysis, which is like counter trend trading. This would be an area to enter for a counter trend trade on INSG. If you believe in this pattern and believe that the stock's going to be bullish later on, this is a great place to enter. Great place to enter because you have such a low risk. But again, it's one of those places where you have to have basically the faith in the stock, the analysis, the market cycle, stuff like that, right? And I would say something here that's a little bit different. I mean, this could hold here and spike up throughout the day and then be just fine. And then tomorrow we could be back up here. But if it maintains lows, then usually, you see here, it just kind of meanders higher. This one kind of V's out, which is more ideal because you have a bit of a clearer picture that shares are being bought down there. And then 4.8. Here's another one. Was that 315? Okay, so there's There's another roar off the bottom at 4.6. There you go. There's one at 4.6. And I don't go back long enough to get this one over here in February on the 8th. But you see the picture there. Ideally, it'd be nice if it were to kind of spike out, give you some confidence at the lows here. But we're not doing that quite so much today. Actually, I have a little bear flag here. Looks like it could set up for lower prices. So we'll see how that kind of plays out for INSG. We got VFF down 2%. This thing just been on a rocket ship ride from the $4 level. Just up 500%. That's just a huge run. And it looks like some distribution coming in, obviously. And so far, not quite getting back up to the highs there. Acacia doing okay. Maintaining in highs, lower volumes. Not too bad there. Take Two Interactive coming in a little too much for my like right now. GMed down, AMRN. Looks like it's still pulling in a little bit from this breakup, but it's above the trend line, which isn't too bad. And the volume's been pretty small, so that's not too bad. I'd wait for that one to break out. Workday, Match came back down significantly, already pretty low there. We'll see if that can get some volume or how that's going to behave. It's just cut through the 50-day moving average, looks like Thursday last week. Already talked about CGC. Boot falling back on Friday. Yeah, so obviously not the best thing in the world. Quite a bit of volume. I mean, it was pretty steady throughout the day, too. That's one of the crazy things about Boot. I don't know, man. That's a weird one. That's kind of an interesting one. It did maintain the gap, though. Like, if you draw a line between the close all the way up. I mean, it closed at an okay place. But, I mean, think about if someone bought this up here was just 9,000 shares, and they could come over here and sell hundreds of thousands of shares with that money. So pretty interesting on that one. So one thing, it did come back and fill the gap to this point here. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of it's an interesting phenomenon. It's hard to say that it was. You would think with that amount of volume, that if that was all selling pressure, that it would just crater out of that selling pressure. But I don't know. Are they gonna Boot Barn? What's this one? Is it gonna join the mid cap 400? Maybe that's why. Boot will join the S&P Small Cap 600 Index. That's why it jumped. So it's going to join. A larger index. And so I guess that was just some institutions taking some initial positions, ETFs or something like that. I don't know exactly how that structure works, but yeah, sometimes when you see a stock get eaten up by an index or something, it'll have a big day. In this case, it was, I don't know what the hell, but just trade it like normal, I guess. I mean, yeah, just trade it like normal. There's no need to get crazy with it. But that's an insane amount of volume. I mean, maybe it's just an unspoken thing between institutions that they get rid of these in one day and swap between the indexes. I don't know. But that's the reason why I did that. It's getting added to a new index. It looks like under 3% now for Chesapeake. I'm probably set to close that trade out then if that's going to pull in too much. That's a good trade. All right, let's close it out. All right, sold. Thank you, Chesapeake. Yeah, I'm pretty heavy cash at this moment in time. Kind of feel good about it too. Eek. Let's see here. All right, so market down 0.25%. Looks like it's maintaining, which is fine. Let's take a look at some of the big boys. Oh, looks like Fortnite. Fortinet's getting going. My position on that from the other day just went positive. So that could be good. So maybe Fortinet could be trying to bounce back up here to this 88 level. Not sure if I'm calling a breakout on this one quite yet, but that could be an interesting play there. Fortinet, the other one we talked about last week, in this cup and handle pattern, and then like the next day it pulled back 6%. Yeah. Also, keep in mind things aren't buyable until the breakout point, which is why you don't arbitrarily buy, because you'll get hit by this. But yeah. Fortinet getting back with it. Winnebago looking pretty good. Yeah, just marching on, man. Since we broke that 32 level, 32.50, 32.17 level there, we just marching right on up, which is good. Good. 2 Workday, Skyworks. What else is kind of maintained? Let's go from the top down on the big list. All right, so we got NBEV up here, top on our list. SoFun, which has been pretty good. It's been very fun today. We noted AMC earlier with an analyst upgrade. Riot holding pretty tight. Chesapeake actually holding pretty good. Pulled back a little bit, but not much at all. Future Fuel, SLCA looks like it's kind of continuing its little uptrend here. I forget exactly what this company does. I used to know during this time frame. I forget it right now. So maybe a frozen rope pattern. Maybe it's had the touch here 1, 2, 3 times, and the top looks like it's pretty good. So maybe SLCA will, ride this trend for a little bit. Hard to say exactly. Pi with a nice gap up this morning, trying to break that resistance area. Med, Stone, ZS. Wow, with a big day on. Was that Thursday? Oh, it's Thursday. Big down day on Thursday. Maybe similar to FTNT, maybe trying to come back towards highs after a big drop like that. This has been in a pretty good uptrend the entire time, so That may not be too bad. Registration hardware with a big gap on earnings. Not sure if I touched that one quite yet. Fang looks like it's coiling. This is something called coiling. I don't really talk about it often, but when you see sequential highs and lows and they get tighter and tighter, boing. That's the general theory behind that. Can't say that's going to happen, but Fang is an oil stock, and I guess oil's been doing pretty good lately. SOI. Okay, so that one's kind of been in a... That one's doing okay. Looks like it's trying to get towards the previous high. We'll probably find resistance there at that $19 level, but we'll see how that goes. Whiting Petroleum, we noted they were trying to get over that level there at about 30 and change. Pulled back a little bit this morning. When EOG trying to get up. Whiting Petroleum. A lot of these oil names trying to get happy. Maybe that's the next sector to make a move. Ring NVGS is another oil play. WGO. TZA. Holly. There's a coal play. Oh, coal. Look at that. Kind of broke my level there the other day. Has earnings coming up. Kind of weird. 5-1 after earnings on... Oh, 221? When does that seem... Why does that seem so soon? But you can see here HCC, our Warrior Coal, which has been very flat throughout this entire bear market. Yeah, it looks like it's maybe getting some... Had some volume here. This has been a weird one, so... Be ready for, I guess... more strange action at a Warrior Coal. Alibaba looks like it's getting on with the program right there, trying to break that high. If it can do that, that could be pretty good for Alibaba. On the weekly chart, that would break it out of a flat base. I think we figured that out on Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a flat base. So your breakout point here would be the high here, which is 188.18 is your technical buy area. And on volume, so you got to be 40% above average volume to be considered a breakout day. So it's 40% of 12, or basically 13, is another 400,000 shares traded, or 4 million in this case. So that one this one quite qualifies 40%. So you're looking for a little bit above that. It may have the volume today to do it if it does try to get going, but that would be a flat base for Alibaba, and that would be a first stage base, I guess. Yeah, that would be a first stage base. And so that's a good potential trade there for Alibaba. Yeah, I hate my watch list setup here for my... Hate it. Sticky note attack. I gotta fix that. So Alibaba looking good. See if it'll break out of that. Pergo, whatever that does, looking not too bad. THO. What do you think about BA and Snap? Well, I wouldn't be involved much in BA at the moment. It's just a news-driven. It's just news-driven right here, and I don't like those stocks. I would avoid BA until it gives us some kind of technical indicator. Extraordinarily news-driven, stay away. Not my cup of tea. Snap. So here's the thing. Snap is an IPO. It looks like it recently broke that trend line. That could be. You could try to take an early position in that, I guess, if you wanted to. I wouldn't make it a full-fledged position, though. So here's the thing. Since this IPO has gone basically straight down across this trend line, we're trying to break above it. So at this point, what you want to look for is some kind of a pattern to buy off of. I guess we noted that could have been an early buy point that would have worked well. This could be... So that's kind of one of those, hey, I'm really low and I'm breaking the trend reversals. This trend line here is a little bit of a different beast than this one. Yeah, the earnings, that one just kind of got a little lucky on if you bought over that particular trend line. Now that we're way up here, which I mean we're double. So that's a pretty big gain in a short period of time, 87%. So 87% in a very short period of time. Earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, I don't know. There's no major pattern here quite yet. I do like the fact it's breaking this trend line. So that puts it on the maybe list and off of the definite no list. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Yeah, it takes off the definite no list, but I would like a little bit more certainty before I would have put a bunch of money to work in this thing. With earnings coming up so soon, it may just flounder about until earnings time. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Snap. There's nothing there in it right now that is super enticing for at least me and the strategies that I like and the setups that I like. Fortinet 1.26%. See, I'd much rather be in something like 4. See, this is something that I like. Here's a cup and handle. This thing has been basing over here since September of last year, so that's about 6-7 months. It's got a nice handle on it. Your breakout point is here above the breakout point. That was pretty redundant. So there's your breakout point for Fortinet. I told you guys the other day I did take an arbitrary long position on this drop down here just because it's within trend and it was a crazy drop out of nowhere for no apparent reason. So, we'll see how that plays out for me, but I wouldn't buy it higher, that's for sure. I wouldn't buy it up here at all. I would buy it on the breakout up here on elevated volume, potentially or ideally breakout volume. Otherwise, you're kind of playing, you're kind of gambling there a little bit. But yeah, I don't really think much of Snap right now. I wouldn't touch Boeing. Alec over there just made a fantastic trade. Good for him. Very glad. But if I were to play something like that, it would be with a minuscule portion of my account that I just really didn't care if it got lost because it was a gamble trade. So, and hey man, gambles pay off sometimes. So good stuff there. AEYE looks like it's kind of doing okay. What did we figure out this thing was? AEYE. What did we figure out? I forget. I even wrote it down, but I forget what the sector it was in. Oh, this is the one that God, who's that guy? One of our members here, his boss recommended this stock to him. That's what that was. They do like blind computing or something like that, which is kind of weird. Composite rating of 66 isn't the worst. EPS rating 46 isn't the worst. Sales of 102 is pretty good. 102%. 3-year sales growth rate 177% for this one. Pretty good. Relative strength is 86. And so the most of the big stocks actually have relative strength rating above 80 before they start their big run. So anytime you see anything above 80, 85 in terms of relative strength, you can't discount it too much. All right, Chesapeake not really selling off. It's consolidating there for some further gains out of this pattern. I mean, pretty good pocket pivot on Friday. Yes, James. Are your teeth done, Bugs? Oh. NBEV 20%. So fun. Sitting right there at highs, man. What's our volume like today? Pretty good. Look at the volume on the 5 minute. It's not bad at all. Trying. What's going on with this stupid thing? I do that way too often. Maybe it'll run up right to that line, and then we'll see if it'll sell off. So that line's at about 175. Looks like 180 maybe. Of course, things are a little bit different on these 5-minute charts when you drop them back from the daily. All right, NASDAQ 0.18%. Looks like it's maintaining itself quite nicely here. Market doing good stuff. Now I think I'm going to bounce, ladies and gentlemen. Going to leave you with SoFun. If you want another 10 cents, maybe consider picking up some SoFun. Actually, 10 cents equals about 10% on this one. So we'll see how that one plays out. So market doing okay here. We got a couple of things in the middle of rallies, couple of things basing to kind of break out. We talked about BABA potentially breaking out of a cup and handle, or I'm sorry, flat base pattern. So that's a potential. You know, one thing before I go, because it is Monday, let's check out the EIBD. I want to see where they have BABA and if they have it as a flat base. So let's check that out real quick. They used to be a sector leader. I don't think they are anymore. Not really. IBD 50. They may not even be in the IBD 50, to be honest with you. IBD Extra, top performing stocks for the past 3 months. Alibaba, that's good. So they are not in the IBD 50. So that's a fruitless juncture. Relative strength of 81 for Alibaba. EPS rating of 82. PE of 34. Number of funds buying 35. That's pretty good. Total million invested 295. So yeah, they're definitely some work being put in there. Netflix 423 million invested. So they're one of the larger ones. Alibaba has a pretty big market cap, but yeah, they're definitely not on the IBD 50 at this juncture. But nonetheless, it doesn't need to be on the IBD 50 to break out from a flat base, and it looks like it may be trying to do that maybe today. We'll see how the volume goes, but it's it's pretty interesting. So, all right, guys, with that, I'm going to set this alert and get out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, and I will I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.